around 7 feet tall at the shoulders.
Wow.
Upwards of 1,000 pounds.
Posing for a picture. Apparent the brain is to all the deers.
My Lisa, did you get a good picture?
They sure eat.
Yeah, she's in good shape.
She's nice.
Absolutely wonderful. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What happened? Snow on that mountain. Did you take
But as Mount McKinley. And that's his old name. It's no longer the name
Oh, that's
of the
unbelievable.
mountain. Denali is the original name that was given by the natives to this mountain. It means the great one or the high one. Then the white man came into the area and decided to name the mountain after a presidential candidate, McKinley, who was in favor of the gold standard. Of course, the Alaskans were very much in favor of this also. And so they decided to name the mountain after him. But President McKinley never came. Up on both sides of the train. And if you didn't know it, we're heading through the Alaska Range, through the lowest pass through the Alaska Range. It is actually fairly low. They form the edge of a plate, which is also a continent, heading through this divide. Actually, at this moment, we're heading through a continental divide that would run north and south down in the lower 48, but up here runs east and west. And so this is also a watershed divide off to the 9 o'clock side. This lake, Summit Lake, very jagged, V-shaped. That was
3:30. No, 2:30. Too early for you to have another drink. You'll pass out. 4:40. I don't know which way they're going to start.
They said we would.
But once we get to the West Shore Domes and the Princess Domes, we'll have here come West Shores. Hopefully they have the courage. Get ready to move! Oh, no. Nobody's there. Nobody's in there either. What is going on? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. All right.
They're doing it. They're doing it.
Alrighty. Take pictures of Hurricane Gulch.
Why did you jump?
No, it's bungee jump. Sorry, we don't stop.
Honey, look down there.
If you look off to the 9 o'clock side, as we go a little further along, you'll see a small waterfall right up here. And off to the 3 o'clock side, you can see where the Hurricane River runs into the Chulitna River. Now, they said that the Alaska Railroad never could exist because of this gulch. But the American Bridge Company threw up an aerial tram here, and they started at both sides and worked until they met in the middle back in 1922.
You're up the top. So, then call it one there.
Opening coming up. Opening coming up. Sorry, you just keep taking.
That's the truth. Oh, that was a nice shot. Right there. Stop the train.
Look at that.
There.
Some of that.
Crazy.
Hard to get.
Mountain up.
I don't think it's going to get it.
Look at my wife is really aggressive. Keep going, Bill.
She is.
I took one with the telescopic.
Did you come up with some of those answers? The handrail, making sure it's not all dirty from all, and no penalty. I won't make you sing or anything.
This is the Princess train that we took the ride on. People are just getting off here in Anchorage. Getting on the buses and headed for the Captain Cook. We just arrived at our hotel here in Anchorage at the Captain Cook. And we lucked out. We have this beautiful room overlooking this beautiful body of water, which I'm not sure what it is yet.
And what time is it?
And it's, I don't know, what time is it, 9:30 or whatever the hell the time here, and it's 1:30 our time in West Virginia, but this is just a beautiful room.
9:30 at night, and still this light.
And it's still light at 9:30. Hope this comes out. This is a picture of our room here at the Captain Cook. It looks very nice. So far this trip has been magnificent, every phase of it. This is such a beautiful view from our room here at the Captain Cook that I'm going to try to get a little bit better view. It's hazy out there in the distance. I don't know how this is going to come out.
No, 10 o'clock at night.
It's 10 o'clock at night. There's a plane coming in for a landing. You can see some of this beautiful sunset, I hope, but it's pretty dark. Room at the Captain Cook Hotel in Anchorage, Alaska. And that water that you're looking at there, last night I didn't know what it was, but it's Cook's Inlet. Cook's Inlet. It's cloudy today. And this morning we have a tour of Anchorage, and we go immediately from there to the Kenai Peninsula and the Princess Kenai Lodge. This is the one that was on the television show a couple months ago. They did a special on it. On Good Morning America. Looks like the weather finally caught up with us. Today it doesn't look like it's too good, but the weather to this point has been absolutely perfect.
Which everybody from here has been telling us is unusual.
Right. Alaskan Historical Museum. They have various sections. I believe this is one of the main courtyard rooms. They have a restaurant here. And they have different exhibits of Russian handiwork and Alaskan handiwork, various gift shops, little restaurant here. This is a painting by an artist named Rockwell Kent. It's called Alaska in Winter. Very pretty colors in it. This is in the art section of the museum. That's Mount McKinley and it shows the rapids of Tokoshipna. Another one of Mount McKinley. Apparently a lot of the artists honed in on probably the major attraction in Alaska. This is a painting of the Muir Glacier, painted sometime in the 1850s. This is a painting called Koryak Village, Siberia. It was painted in 1883. This is called the Trapper. Looks better this way. I have it upside down. If this looks familiar, this looks like that village we saw on the Chena River.
In summer, it never gets really hot. In the 60s, 70s, someone's coming from, or how they were going to stay warm in the wintertime. And because of this, they were able to develop a very complex society. Our children would then belong to my plan and would be ready to learn how to become a Clinton man. They would not run out, and that they decorated anything and everything. We'll see a lot of examples of that. They lived in multi-family cedar plank houses, and we have a couple of examples of them in this diorama. They become very famous for their totem poles, and we had one in the most important video on the totem pole is on the figure on the inside, not there. It's pronounced Clinton, which the developed the school district ran is like vast area surrounded by mountains, extremely hot in the summer. The characters are very
Why do you want this?
Say again?
What was, you wanted this?
I just wanted to get
This is apparently the entrance to the cabin that I just photographed from the other side. I think I missed the moose when we were on our safari trip, but this is a pretty good picture one in the museum. These things are huge. These are the various planes they used in the Alaskan campaign. You can identify. This is a good shot of the Alaskan pipeline, which we saw a couple of days ago, and shows the inside and shows the construction. There are the towers, the heat exchangers, and those towers go down into the permafrost. Up on the balcony of the museum here, looking down at the courtyard, got a pretty fountain pen, a little restaurant over here. Wow, that's huge. Around here are just beautiful. Different flowers. Colors are just unbelievable. Because they've had some cold weather here. These flowers are still gorgeous. Flowers they are, but they're magnificent. Turn around here. The beautiful cabbages that they grew up in Alaska. Just have to get the picture of one totem pole. And here's one that's in the museum. Quite large, as you can see. See here how the ground sunk approximately 25 feet. As a result of that earthquake. The Lake Hood, Lake Spenard complex, small planes basically. There are 400 float planes here and about 1,000 land planes here. In the winter, they take off the floats and put on skis, and this is all frozen over so the planes can still land and take off.
This is not time.
Chance to take a picture of it. These land planes have like big balloon tires on them to use in the tundra where there are no airstrips, so they can take off and land on in areas where there is no land strips, and a set of those tires cost about $3,000. The fellow said that also a set of these pontoons that you see on these boats here, on these airplanes here, cost about $5,000 just for the pontoon. The Anchorage Airport is not too far from here, and also Elmendorf Air Force Base is not too far from here. And this section is supposed to be one of the busiest places in the world. All the activity, both the small planes and the Air Force and the commercial planes, and I understand all the small planes, because of all the activity and the traffic, are controlled by the tower at the main Anchorage Airport. Here's a float plane taking off. No, that's him. I didn't recognize him until he opened his mouth. This is the Chugach National Park, and what we're looking at are chunks of the glacier that have fallen off and have collected here. I don't know whether it's going to show up in color real well, but they're sort of a pale blue glacial ice. Here now, this is the glacier that's up coming down the mountain. Again, I can't tell from the monitor on this thing what the colors are going to be, but it's a bluish tint to the ice. Just a magnificent place. Part of that mountain's in the cloud. Around to this building now on the left, that's an observatory, and they have going to have a show there in about an hour that we'll be able to see, that tells you all about the glaciers and the glacial ice and how it's collected here and so forth. They tell me that on many occasions you don't see these chunks in here, so they're probably pretty fresh, that have come off not too long ago. The three lights on the right are the glacier that's feeding into the body of water, and the light on the left is the visitor center where we are right now.
Places frigid and remote, barriers to moisture from the North Pacific. Humankind has called them glaciers. They are rivers of ice, and their movement contains the power to carve great valleys. As they move, they speak to us with the sounds of their labor. These are the sounds of their life and their death. frozen breath of the ocean from which glaciers are created. They are the first step in the process of continual change, continual beginnings. Storm after storm, layer by layer, the flakes accumulate. Time and pressure fuse them together, compressing the snow into dense, jewel-like ice. Under the increasing weight of each new snow, the ice moves down slowly, like a river, forming a flowing sheet hundreds or even thousands of feet thick. In the Chugach Mountains of south central